finished. You said you had a tickle. I was like, I don't think. Well, never mind.
Oh, the tickle. Yeah, yes, you got a tickle, all right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we are recording, by the way.
All right, whatever.
So, gentlemen, I know I've been pestering you guys for like a week and a half. I mean, we are way behind schedule recording this thing.
Yeah, talk about like the night before.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
The thing, to be perfectly honest, just to bring the viewing audience for their pleasure up to speed. Obviously, when you do a scratch build, there's going to be issues. And there's going to be measurement issues, and there's going to be sizing issues, and then there's going to be material issues.
And we're just talking about Ray.
Yeah, you haven't got to the other runs yet.
Oh, touche. So, kind of like, and JD, I apologize. I think we were all a little bit on a separate or different, or in different pages of a book here. Only thing I was looking at, or the way I've been looking at this thing, was doing it the same way we did the original bridge build, which was go ahead, get it together, and then when we finally have all the pieces ready at the end of this thing, that's when we go into the full details and, getting windows and paint and, all that other stuff on. I think there was a slight miscommunication between the three of us on exactly what we were trying to accomplish for this.
Gotcha.
For this
yeah,
premiere.
I was definitely on the wrong page on that one because all you kept saying was, first building's got to be done. The first building's got to be done. So I went and worked my hardest to try and get as close to done as possible, and I got lost in the details.
Well, and to be perfectly honest, here it is, Thanksgiving Day. I finished the front porch.
I haven't even started the front porch.
Well, I'll have to be honest. I did most of this last week, the week before.
This guy, I'll tell you, this guy.
Because I've been concentrating on laying track down and wanting to get one loop going.
Well, we can
it's time to do a golden spike on it now. It's passing the test. I got both main lines down.
We can now officially say that Grandpa Rails is loopy.
Yeah.
And he still swears the turkeys can fly. Oh, Dr. Johnny Fever. Sorry. That reference is not going to go away, Grandpa. JD, that is not going to change. Anyway, so basically what we've got going on here is this is the premiere. This is building number 1. This is my first scratch build. And I figured after I went ahead and did that kit bash on that bridge that I was going to be in fairly decent shape. Oh, boy. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
And if anybody else
on another ball game.
Oh, yeah. And if anybody else in the community is attempting this thing, good luck.
Right?
No.
I do know that one person that was attempting it, after he got finished with the first wall, was like, yeah, no.
Who was that?
Joe Rader.
Oh, really?
Wow.
He did do an attempt on it. Okay.
Yeah, he got through the first, and he was like, yeah, no. Although, who knows, he may still come back and attempt it later on, but right now, he basically was like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, which one of us wants to go ahead and show off where we're at first? Well, JD kind of already did. So, Grandpa, why don't you go ahead and
Pick me!
Go ahead and show us what you got going on, and let us know what you've run up against.
This is the back side of the house, and
there you go, Rick. Yeah,
I ran into a door problem, and then when I put it in, I didn't put it in low enough, so I got to put a bigger step right here on the back. And I haven't even cut the columns yet. I've got some round tubing for that. I did glue the door and those 2 windows in.
Oh, I thought you were going to forget the windows.
And then I did, well, let's see if we can show it inside. Because I set the porch back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, about a half an inch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
And I've decided so far, I don't know that I'm going to put the clapboard siding on it.
And you don't have to.
Because I think that was added sometime later, and I'm going to try and go a little bit earlier. Who knows, it may end up being dilapidated. Depends on how bad I screw things up. But,
well,
you know,
I'll tell you this much. It doesn't look like you made a single mistake, except for following Ray's plans.
Well, yeah, there's a little problem on some measurements, but, you know, I think part of that was me, too. So.
Sweet.
I tell you what, Grant, that looks freaking awesome. I mean,
Thanks.
I mean, and anybody, I mean, obviously the 3 of us were kind of chit-chatting a little bit before we got started. And, you know, this is to take a thing from National Lampoon, this is a beaut, Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something, it's certainly not something for the beginner. But anyway, go ahead, Grandpa. What else you got there, bud?
Well, I was going to say, I could put the part number up. I'm using, where did it go? Get off of there. The styrene, it's the angled styrene to, let's see if you can see inside, brace the corners side. Get my finger out of the way out right here. And then run along on the bottom. It's stiffening it up a little bit, and I plan on putting it on a piece of styrene.
Gotcha.
As a base, but that won't come until towards the end when I've got everything together. And the part number I'm using, let's see, this is evergreen stuff.
Evergreen, yep. I think that's what I got. Yeah, evergreens.
Nice.
So this is a 20-pack. So, and I'm sure I'm going to go through a few.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm going to go. I'm going to go last. I'm going to go ahead and I will. So well, I'm like you said. I mean, here it is. I kind of guesstimated on a lot of these measurements. You know, just looking at, you know, the way I did it. And for everybody that's out there, the way that I came up with the measurements was trying to figure out how tall an HO scale person was versus the different details in the house to try and figure out how tall to make it and how long to make it. And I think the plans are pretty decent. The measurements are close. I did find, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, I did find one issue with the second building that we'll touch on here in a minute. But yeah, I mean, Grandpa, that's amazing. And you said that you were actually dabbling with it a bit and then really kicked it into gear last week.
Yeah, I actually, this window right here, I cut that in just, I don't know, about a half hour ago. I got lucky. I got lucky. And what I did,
I can't even begin to tell you all the different styles of windows that I've gone through.
Yeah, I need to put a window order in.
Figure out.
Well, I'm going with the 8-pane windows. They fit measurements and they look. Uh-oh.
Yeah, you should be.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And what I did on this one, I measured the bottom of bottom of it, and it was like I was using the scale ruler, so it was like 2 3/4 feet across on the bottom, and then I went up to where you see the top.
There you go.
Camera down here. Let's get my finger right away. All right, right there where the top pane is, the last straight pane. I measured up to that point, and I think it was like 3 3/4 feet, HO scale feet. And I stopped my cut there, and then I had a mark where I knew the top of the glass was out on the backside. So I just took my knife and ever so slightly just kind of curved it in there, and I got lucky and only had to trim off just a tiny piece to make that window fit in there. I was sweating bullets on that, because then I'd have had to repair the whole thing or replace it.
Yeah. Yep. All right.
Good job, JD. Good job.
Yeah, great going there, man. He's going to show us up again, Rick.
No, unfortunately, that's not happening here. I can tell you this: doing the bridge build with a set of instructions. Now, if you remember, I had that full set of plans.
You did one, yeah. Here we go.
I'm very good with that, but when I'm going through this and having no plans and no directions other than what's his name over here gives us, this may be my last scratch build, and that's all I'm going to say about that. It's been very, very trying. It has been. I'll go next. I'll show you my troubles and issues. I'll flip you down here to the bench, because Lord knows mine's still in pieces. So I did the same thing that JD did, where I cut in the porch. This is that raised porch section. I did originally have the door in the right place, but then I realized there's a window above it. Yeah. So then I had to cut the opening even wider, and now I realize that with this style window and this door, it like takes up the entire space, where I barely have enough for steps down there. I think I might have one, where on the real house, I think there's 2 or 3.
I'm gonna have to put several steps there.
Yeah, so basically the same thing. I put the angle brackets on this side so that when I glue this to the back,
right,
all you have to do is glue those pieces on, and then it'll look like that.
Of course, it's upside down. Don't do it that way.
Right. So this is what I've got for my back wall.
That's good.
I did notice on the back wall it seemed to be flat, like it was stucco or cemented over. So I didn't do that river. The rock, whatever. But the top does have the clapboard, so I cut that out and put that on there. Oh, what's killing me the most, what is really, really pissing me off, is that the windows. Okay, the windows. Ray did a great job getting the windows and the window sizes, but I could not find the exact window pane that is in the house. And I think we talked about this before, where the number of panes in a window changes depending on what side of the building you're looking at. So on this side, I had to go with the 6x6 windows, although I believe on the building is 3 panes on top and 2 on the bottom. So, but honestly, I don't think there was enough room for that in here. These kind of fit perfectly. I did get the 2 windows on the bottom, which was not in Ray's picture. I did start doing the archways and getting the
columns.
The columns in there. I was last working on the columns that have to go on the sides. And basically what I'm using for columns is a sippy straw.
Hey! a great idea.
I just cut those off and put them
Wow,
on a little pedestal
of
styrene. And for the sides, if you notice in the actual pictures of the house, it's only half a column. So I cut the wall in half and just put it on styrene, and that's going to sit right in there. And that's what that'll look like when I get it glued in, something like that. The steps, oh God, the steps were a headache. So what I used for the steps was I got this square tubing.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I made 2 stairs, and then I stuck styrene on the top of each, and then I stuck a piece of styrene in the middle. And if you notice, some of my styrene has color on it because the styrene that I'm using is a for sale sign.
Oh, hey, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Hey, building is all about, man. It's whatever
I think
hands on.
I'm not even sure what the size of this thing is, but it looks like it may be 14 by 14 or something like that. And I got it for 85 cents at Walmart. So,
well, I mean, watching Vinny all the years, that was his main thing, was using for sale signs.
Yeah. So I did paint the back of all of the buildings in black, and then I'm going to go over the front in completely white. That's what the building is. You could see some overspray from the black, but that'll all get covered up. That's the back wall. Showed you that wall. The front wall. So I went with the same window that JD's got for the center. I did originally make my holes too big, but then I noticed that there's actually there's like a cornice or something above that window. So that's going to get covered up. I'm not even worried about that. I got to fancy my way around that. But there's those funny windows. And then the windows on the bottom, this is where the window sizes get really weird. So on the bottom of the house, this is where there's smaller windows. I got stuck with the 6-pane window, although again, I think there's more in the actual picture. Another thing that I found out, and this is why I haven't worked on this yet. Ray's got this thing in the drawing as 2 small windows and a door. Actually, there's only 1 window and a large door. So I got to figure out how to cut that. Guys, keep that in mind. Go back and look at.
I haven't cut those side windows in on the top or the bottom.
Yeah. So again, I did the clapboard on top and the river rock on the bottom there. So I haven't worked on this other than putting the windows in. So that's that. These are the 2 sidewalls. Something that I noticed today, I was just telling the guys a little while ago. Ray's drawing has a what do you call that? A fireplace chimney up here. But in the actual picture of the house, the one side is all river rock. The other side has the clapboard on it, and the chimneys are actually set a little back further. So I cut off that chimney. I'll put that in the end when I do the roof. Also, this wall, if you're looking at the back of the building, this is the wall that's on the right-hand side. You see this window, but you don't see this window. So this will get covered up. Also on this side, these windows are correct. And then there's these 2 smaller windows, just like what's on the back of the building here. I got to cut those in and put those in.
Oh, damn. I forgot about those.
Yeah, you guys, it's funny because Ray doesn't have these in the drawings either. And I just happened to look at the house and I saw them.
The back ones are the fireplace ash pits. Yeah.
Right. So that's as far as I got. I'm almost right. But again, I was working on all of the details, and that's what got me kind of, I got lost in putting the building together because I was trying to get the windows in and the steps and all that. I'm right there, so I should be okay to button this up, and I haven't even started on the chimneys and roof yet, but I can get that buttoned up by the next time we do something.
All right. Well,
all right, Ray, you're up.
Apparently I'm slightly the overachiever here. Of course, I just realized that when I was messing around with this thing off camera that I knocked the damn roof off the porch because the porch isn't quite ready. Well, here we go. Keep in mind that I am using a different medium than the other two guys. And
that's true, yes.
And it has presented itself as a pain in the buttuckus. Because I've gone through, 2 X-Acto knives and 3 sheetrock knife blades so far.
Damn.
So, and there's a reason for that. So let me go ahead and let's transition this beast over. So, I'll try to explain this as best I can. So what we've got is the front of the house. And obviously we've got basically a fill-in for the roof at the moment. The front porch, 3 steps. And then what I ended up doing was using shish kebab skewers for columns.
Nice.
Another great idea.
It worked out perfect.
That's awesome.
the only thing I came across, and it really pissed me off this afternoon when I looked at it, and I think I'm going to be okay, is the fact that the roof of the front porch is like right below the window. If you look at the pictures, that's right. The problem is idiot me went through and put freaking clapboard siding right across the bottom of that freaking window. So now I've got to go back and do that. Now I got to fix that. Now, one of the things that I did with this is, before I go too much further, the clapboard siding that's on here, that is actually a 12-pack coat case cut into pieces.
Nice.
I literally cut it into. I looked at siding around here and went, you know what? Most siding is between 8 to 10 foot. I'm going to go ahead and said they use 10-footers. So I sat there on that coat case and literally cut strips that were 10 feet, scaled 10 feet long, and 1/8 of an inch high. 1/8 of an inch is basically a foot. Yep. Most of the siding around here is a foot tall. So that's what I ended up doing. You want to talk about a tedious son of a gun when you have to sit there and basically, first off, you have to cut out each and every one of these daggone things. And then you have to glue it on the building.
Oh, geez.
That took me a week alone to not only do the front, but to do the back.
Right.
Wow.
That looks great, though.
Great.
So there is another issue with the back of the house, but I'll get to that in a minute. As I said, there is a little bit of a problem with the roof. Somehow it got a little bit skewed when I put it on there. It's not a big deal because this isn't permanent. In fact, I was just showing the guys a little bit ago, I can actually take that off. And yes, it even has rafters.
Coca-Cola. Oh, man. Nice.
But the same bamboo skewer. Well, there you go. Now you just saw the magic trick.
Hold on. I'll cover my eyes. Hang on.
I had issues with this back wall. I used those same bamboo skewers on the back here. I actually had to cut this wall 3 times before I got it the way I wanted it. Now, one thing that you may not be able to tell in the pictures, this picture versus the actual building, is that the actual building has archways. You cannot do that with 3/16-inch foam core. It's impossible. I tried. And it was nope. The other thing is that you may not have noticed is that piece is actually inset. It's not flat with the back of the house in the pictures.
Oh.
So I went ahead and took a piece of 1/8 inch foam core and literally cut it out to fit in there to make those archways. And mine they're not rounded, they're actually angled at 45 degrees. So, like I said,
you are correct.
I'm taking out some architectural frustration. I guess is the best way to put it. Now, there is one other thing on here, and I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. You can't see it on camera, but there is actually a crease right on the porch line there. And that's because I originally cut the porch to be a foot tall when it should have been 2 feet tall scale.
I now know why.
So I've actually, unfortunately, I've got a cut line in there that I'm going to have to figure out how. I'm either going to have to recut that. 2 feet. I'm either going to have to recut the back wall or I'm going to skin it, and I'm not sure which way I'm going to go yet. If you notice, I do not have those little windows for the basement on the back or on the west wall.
Yeah, I forgot those.
Yeah, I haven't put them in yet. And in fact, they may not go in because unless I decide to take this wall off and redo it, that would be the only way that's going to happen. And I think might not be close enough. We'll just swing it a little bit. I did, obviously, just like Rick was just talking about, though, I went ahead and made 2 windows on the bottom, 2 windows on the top, and the door in the middle. The nice thing of it is, well, that was another thing, too. After I got finished cutting, the reason why I had to cut the back wall 3 times, the first time I cut it, like I said, I cut it at a foot, 1/8 of an inch. Mm-hmm. After I did that, and I went ahead and put it up against the front wall, I realized that the front wall was at 2/8 of an inch, or 1/4. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work. If that's at 1 foot and that's at 2 foot, then the floor is going to be sitting cockeyed. So I went back and I actually fixed the back wall, and then that's when I had problems recutting. Well, the archways I wasn't happy with to start off with anyway. But so I now got the front and the back to match. This wall I recut 3 times. This was the first one. There's a problem with doing that. Oh, shit. And that's the fact that there's another building that's going to go here.
Nah.
And that archway ain't going to work. You're going to see it. So I decided to take that wall off and redo it. And then when I did, I didn't have the doorway here at the right height. So I had to go back and do it again. And then after I finally got that right, then I went ahead and fixed it and put that window in on the back wall. I did not put the one on the front. One other neat little trick here, and I kind of already showed this, but if I lift it up, there's the first floor, along with the back porch. Now, none of this is glued together. Why? Because I haven't printed my windows and doors yet, because I still have an issue with the 3D printer. I do not want to glue that in there, because if I try to glue that, or if I glue that in there, and if I go back to try and put the windows and doors in, yeah, that ain't going to be easy.
No,
no, sir.
So, yeah, there's that'll stay removable, and there is actually a second floor on this thing. And I was telling the guys beforehand, I said there is a slight problem with this as well, and that's the fact that the floor is at the same level as the windows on the west wall. It was an issue that I found after I put it together. I'm like, well, shoot, I guess I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to take that wall off and redo it. The one nice thing with the foam core, at least the 3/16, what I ended up doing to keep the walls somewhat square, I don't even know. Yeah, that's showing up. You see how the corners are done?
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead and cut the foam core, the one layer of paper, and through the foam core to the outer layer of paper. So the paper on the edge is actually from the one wall.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Good idea.
So that way you don't have a huge, there's still a seam, but it's not as noticeable as if you just went and just put stuff to just line it up. But yeah, I mean, this thing using the foam core has had its advantages. I'm going to go ahead and come back on camera here a minute, but using the foam core has had its advantages, but it's also had its disadvantages, and one of them being the thickness of the stuff. Like I said, I could use 1/8 inch. I've got a bunch of the 1/8 inch floating around, but it just seemed to be too flimsy. And in fact, originally, if you remember, when I talked about doing this originally, I had talked about just using the coat case as the walls. And I quickly realized how flimsy that was going to be. That was not going to work. I mean, yeah.
It kind of moves like that, doesn't it?
Get jiggy with it.
Yeah.
It definitely gets a little flappy in the breeze.
Yeah. Yep, I'm gonna call mine the Love Shack. If it's a moving, don't come knocking.
But I mean, this thing it's been a blast so far. It's taught me a lot of patience. Not that the bridge didn't, but doing this, to go the old adage, measure twice, cut once. Yeah, I even though I've measured 2, 3, 4, 5 times, I've still made bad cuts and had to go back and fix them.
Oh yeah,
I'm kind of glad that I'm using the foam core, because if I make a mistake, there's no problem. I've got a whole stack of it sitting over there in the corner.
Right.
It's like I got an endless. My daughter tells me the other day, she said, "You got an endless supply of this stuff. I've got more of it at work." I'm like, perfect.
Oh yeah.
She said, because they're going to toss it. I'm like, well, they can toss it right my way. I'll take it.
So the one thing I noticed about what I'm using on mine is the because I'm using the whatever that stuff is, plastic weld, to glue all this stuff in. You'll notice
the wall warps.
Yeah, the wall warps. So I got a feeling before I button all this up, I'm going to probably have to take this tubing and kind of use that to make this wall straight, because that's my only shot. Otherwise, this thing's gonna.
Yeah, that's why I was using this angle.
Yeah, and I was thinking I do have that stuff too. This was 293. I think it's the one that I used, but I don't know if that's going to be as strong as the square tubing is. Because
what you're going to do is going to be stronger.
I think I'd go with the square tubing, to be honest, Rick. I think you're going to be better off, because even though you've got the angle is still going to have some flex to it. And I think, well, it's the same thing I went through when I went ahead and rebuilt the bridge, when I put that C channel up underneath of it. That thing does not move. So now,
hey, going back to your building, Ray, with the back, you got that back end, those archways, perfect. I think if you were to cut out the 2 sides and put 2 more skewers in there, dude, that whole back would be prototypical, man. You're right. It looks like those archways and the pillars. I'm looking at the picture over here, and I believe they were an afterthought. They must have been an add-on. Because you're right.
No idea.
Like the pillars were put in and the archway put in, and the whole thing is set back, even the side pieces.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right, and I didn't catch that.
It was something that I caught the other day. Now, just so you gentlemen know, we may end up with a few extra viewers on this thing, because while I was over at my mother-in-law's house on Thursday for Thanksgiving, 3 of the kids were at the house. 2 of my wife's aunts and her 1 uncle. And I showed them pictures of what I was doing. And Steve, the one gentleman, he looked at me and he looked at that and went, "Holy cow." He says,
"Oh, nice."
He said, if there's only one thing that I could gig you on, it's the fact that the back is not squared, it's archways. I'm like, Steve, I could not cut that in the 3/16" car. It was not going to work.
No.
He's like, no. He said, otherwise, he said, that is spot on. And the two girls, the one aunt, I mean, I think she was ready to lose it. To know that we were doing this. Now, one of the things that my wife brought up, and I know it's going to be a little bit tough for JD unless he gets back over it or he can swing it to get over this way. But possibly in October when we have the train show, maybe what we can do is actually take a road trip down Windermere Parkway and actually see the building.
Oh, that'd be great.
Because that's about as close as we're going to get to it. Because it's private property, it's sold. I mean, obviously, But we can park on Windermere Parkway and actually take not take pictures, but actually be able to look at it and go, oh yeah, that's what I built.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. So, we'll have to take somebody with us so we can all hold our model and have the building in the background and take a picture. That'd be great. Yeah, I mean, granted, we'll be holding the model like this, but
I've already got a base cut out for mine. I mean, it's going to be one sheet. It's going to be one sheet of foam core, but nice. They're really interested to see what we come up with, and I told them, I said, huh?
Sweet.
Yeah,
nice. It's great.
I told them, I said, we are taking some architectural liberties with this.
Yeah,
I said, but then again, when you take a look at a house that's, what do we figure, 500 or 600 years? It's no, not 500 years. It's what, 300?
300? 1700s?
Yeah, 1700s. It's probably at least 300 to 400 years old. How many times that place has been changed?
Oh yeah.
We don't have to be precise. And that's one of the things I told him. We're just trying to capture the flavor of and that's the whole point behind scratch building. For the rivet counters, they want to be, for this here, because of the fact that we can't get close to it, the only thing we've really got to go off of are pictures and Google Maps. Mm-hmm. But they did say, they did tell me one thing, and that is the fact that you were correct, Rick. The main house was stuccoed. Below the clapboard, it was stuccoed. Now, what's even funnier is my wife told me, she says she thinks the clapboard siding was later. Because when they actually lived there was no siding. It was all stucco. But what I think the builder did is he added that to kind of break it up because it's a tall building. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's as you were talking about at one point, you think that the interior ceilings are probably 10 to 12 feet.
Yeah.
So it's a tall bit, 24 feet. That's a tall building. Back then. Yeah. One last thing before we break. I don't know how much you guys have recorded, but I think right now, I think I've recorded probably somewhere close to an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of content on the first building alone.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be cutting that into parts.
I feel bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is it?
Insert tab A in the slot B.
Right?
Oh, I have 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
Well, see, I think that's probably because of the fact that, like I said, I'm sitting there using the foam core and having to. Oh man, yeah. I like I said, I think it's closer to. I haven't really looked at the camera, which is actually behind me, to see exactly what it is that I've recorded. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get that over there and get it over to the computer and start editing that up. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do so I don't lose any of it. I'm actually going to edit it up and stick it up on YouTube as a private video until we're done, and then I'll release it. So that way, if my computer decides to get a wild hair up its rear end or whatever, I've at least got a copy of it, so I don't lose all that content. Because that would really make me mad.
That's a good idea.
So, all right, gentlemen. Well, yeah, as we said, the next video will come out on January the 7th. It'll be on somebody's channel. We'll let everybody know before we get there.
All right.
We got a few weeks before we get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we don't talk, we'll catch you all next time.
All right. I'll see you.